Hi, I just thought I'd do a video. I've had a few people asking me questions about different types of event that we do at Hunteering. So to explain, I just thought I'd make a quick voiceover. So basically we started off around 2004 with new event types from just regular skirmish. And what we've done is we decided to move on away from team-based events and heading more into a more challenging environment of playing solo. And now all of our games in the past from the early 90s had all been about being multiple days. We called them endurance events, and we were quite proud of how hard the event styles were compared to just say a regular skirmish. But once we got to 2004, we moved on to a solo style. So we invented a game type called field hunteering. And basically, it's 2 days long. If there's 3 to 5 players, you play alone. And basically, you play over the 2 days. There's no safe zone, no stop. You're only allowed a bolt action or pistol or shotgun with very limited ammunition. And it's all about navigation over the 2 days to complete a course. There's a little bit more to it than that. But basically, you can play solo if you have 3 to 5 players. And once you hit 6 players, you can play in pairs up to 10 players. So you'd have 5 pairs. And obviously, you play in as large an area as possible as well. So it's very much a game of patrolling and stalking and navigation. And hard routine, because you're playing against people who aren't just, walking around, bimbling around in a skirmish. They're also playing as hard a game as you. So that upped the ante. We also invented a style of game around then that was like an escape and evasion themed game. We called it Manhunt. And basically that saw a pair of players being hunted by a team of 10 players who had vehicles. And the playing area was a 40-kilometre square area on a map. They weren't allowed to carry guns. They were given guns on private land, certain parts of it. But really the premise of that was just a larger, more challenging game over 2 days. Obviously 2 men being hunted by guys who got updated intel. It wasn't just, hide for 2 days. There was like a story-based themed event that they had to make their way through over the 2 days over a large area. So we did that, and then we moved on and made a shorter version of that called cross-country hunteering, which again is, it's individuals being hunted by a couple of hunters. In that, if you're captured, you join the hunter team, and that's more of a 1 day game. Which is more of a training style game. We came up with another training event which was called King of Field, and originally it was just a guy stalking a target defended by someone he couldn't shoot, so he had to evade that person by using concealment. And obviously it was about accuracy. You only got 10 shots to take in an hour on a target, whereas we've developed that into a team-based version, which is called The Wire. Now basically that gets whatever site you're using. You can use barrier tape or an obvious boundary such as a stream. Neither team's allowed to cross that. The first day you get to prep your side of the boundary, the wire. So you could, make maps of what you can see the opponents are doing or have done. You don't get to do any build at the same time as them, and obviously you can build your own screens, hides, decoys, whatever you want to do, work out your routes. And then basically the second day is about getting into position before 6 AM, and slowly the game progresses along the wire. There's a timetable where targets will pop up. You don't know where they're going to be, but they're going to be in certain sectors at certain times, and they'll pop up. They're controlled by Marshall, and they're not up for long. You've got to try and take them out, or any of the other players. So it's more of a long-range gunnery battle, because you're never going to be stalking behind the opponent, so there's very little pistol play in that, only if you have to go down to the wire to retrieve something. Now there are things like that, objectives like that over the day. At times you'll have to head to the wire, which is like considered the front line. And it's all to simulate long-range sniping and a gunnery duel. And we basically themed those on different wars or battles. For example, the first one we did was World War One. The second one we've done was based on Stalingrad in World War Two. And the third one we're going to do is based on a Vietnam sniper duel. So, you know, that's an interesting style of game. It's team-based. It can be between, say, 2 and... I suppose you could play 16 players, 20 players perhaps, I'd say 16. So 2 to 16 players for that. And then the last style of event we do comes from before we started Hunteering, which was back to our days of team-based endurance gaming. So it's 2 days, you're playing 4 to 6 man teams. There's up to 4 teams. So therefore 16 to 24 players, and there's 20 missions to do over 26 hours. So again, you play overnight, there's no stopping. All of these games are the same in the sense of when you can use guns in these events, they're all pistol with no carbine kits, shotgun or bolt action. There's no DMR, there's no full automatics or SMGs or anything like that allowed. It's very much a purist sport of bolt action sniping. So, you know, there's a lot of videos we've published that just sort of document what's gone on over some of these events, but none of them really explain too much because they're very complicated events. Everyone's got their own story. You can imagine, you know, 26 hours by yourself, say, you've got a lot to tell at the end, and so was the other person, and so was that guy. So it's very hard to put all that down into a concise video. But it's very much a personal experience and very different from, say, skirmish sniping or large team-based mil sims where you know probably where the enemy's going to be. All these games generally cover a 360-degree threat apart from the wire event. The wire, obviously, it's specifically organised so that the enemy's in front of you, you have a direction of threat, and therefore it's easier to use dead ground and observe, and be less worried about people just playing a crawling game and trying to get in amongst you. So, you know, I hope that helps. I'd like to think that I'd maybe explain some of the events we do. So thanks for watching, and if you're interested in any of our events, comment below or keep a tab on any of our pages, and we'll maybe cross paths at some point. Until then, good hunting.